The nation of South Africa contains 2 active volcanoes, one of which was witnessed actively erupting in 2004. As strange as this might sound, it is completely true, but it happened to occur in an area most people do not think of when they imagine South Africa as a country. So, where are these volcanoes? I, of course, am not referring to mainland South Africa, which is home to 65 million people, but rather 2 sizable volcanic islands approximately 2,160 kilometers southeast of Cape Town, which were annexed into South Africa in 1947. Zooming in, it is easy to see the abundant volcanic features and young lava flows that dot both Marion Island and Prince Edward Island. It might be initially tough to see the exact scale of these islands due to the lack of island sizes of tall vegetation to use as a source of scale, so I am noting that Marion Island and Prince Edward Island when combined have essentially the same land area as Hawaii's island of Lanai. Yet, while 3,400 people live on Lanai, no one lives on either South African island, at least not permanently, as 50 temporary researchers do work on Marion Island's research station. While snow frequents the tallest point on Marion Island, which rises 1,240 meters or former glacier extent 4,068 feet above sea level, it was not so long ago geologically speaking that the vast majority of the island was covered in thick glaciers. The advance of these glaciers are why large figurative bites look like they were cut out of the landscape, as these mark what were originally higher points of the volcano which were carved away and stripped of elevation by the sheer mass of advancing glacial ice. Also, some of the sediments moved by the glacier were placed as it retreated underneath what is today the research station, hence the rugged topography there. The exact history of when these glaciers existed isn't 100% clear, but we know for a fact that they existed between at least 55,000 years ago and 17,000 years ago. Each of this volcano's darker black-colored lava flows visible from satellite are interpreted to be under 11,700 years old, with an estimated more than 120 such eruptions occurring during this timespan. In other words, the Marion Island Shield volcano seems to erupt an average of once a century. These eruptions seem to largely start at or near Marion Island's summit area known as its Central Highlands, before propagating in one direction, sometimes all the way to the coast. This is why so many of this island's cinder cones and lava flows seem to follow a perfectly straight line, as the fact their source vents do. This pattern was mostly followed during the island's 2 historical known eruptions, which in 1980 involved a fissure that propagated all historical eruptions the way to the western coastline and covered 1.05 square kilometers